Hello and welcome back to our channel, Woolbuddy Friends. Since Halloween is just around the corner, it's the perfect time to dive into a spooky and fun project. Today I'm going to show you how to needle felt an undead duck from the iconic movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Not only will we be crafting this eerie little character, but I'll also be sharing some cool techniques for mixing wool colors along the way. So stay with us until the end of this video. Every year it's been a tradition in our family to sit down and watch The Nightmare Before Christmas. It inspired me to create this wooden toy, and as you can see, this is the Undead Duck. And it actually turns. This quirky, creepy, and heartwarming story never gets old. Now, I've got a little reference picture here, but I thought, why not take it a step further and draw my own version to guide us through this project? Here's my sketch. It doesn't have to be perfect, just something to guide our felting. So we're starting with the yellow for the body, but I don't have the exact shade of bright yellow I want. So I'm going to show you how to mix colors to get the perfect hue. I'm adding a bit of this butter color and maybe a touch of this school bus color to tone it down. By the way, if you want to have these beautiful colors of wool, we have it in our Woolbuddy store, so you can just click the link in the description box below. First, lay the butter color on the brush carder in thin layers, then alternate it with the school bus color, just a bit of it. And gently brush the wool back and forth until the fibers start blending together. When mixing wool, it's a lot like mixing paint. The more you blend, the more even the color becomes. But for this Undead Duck look, I actually like keeping a bit of texture, so I won't overblend. Just brush the colors together until they're mixed enough to your liking. Next we'll start forming the duck's head. I'm using white wool as the core to give it structure. Roll it into a ball, then use your felting needle to poke and shape it. Remember to continuously rotate the wool while felting, applying even pressure on all sides. Now that we have a perfect circle for the head, let's now move on to the body. For the body, we'll go a bit smaller and longer. Just eyeball the proportions and adjust as you go. There's no wrong way to do it. Now, just the same with the head, poke the white wool repeatedly to hold the shape and continuously rotate the wool while felting, applying more pressure on the tail tip. Alright, we've got the base of our Undead Duck all set up. Now it's time to cover it with that perfect mixed yellow we made earlier. As we felt it down, remember not to overdo it. You want to keep that slightly rough texture. Gently wrap the wool around, making sure to cover the entire surface evenly. Now it's time to give our little undead duck some spooky eyes. I'll start by shaping a big black and flat rounded wool in between my palms for the eyeballs. Make sure to position them at the center, trying to perfectly attach it in circle to the head. You can see that my needles are also positioned at 45 degrees pointing in and out so that the wool won't get smudged easily. I'm adding the white wool for the pupils and attach it at the center of the eyeball, then start poking at the center. This makes the eyes pop and adds that sunken, hollow look you see in the movie. And then just do the same thing to the exact other side of it for the other eye. Now, let's work on the beak and teeth. Start by folding a small piece of orange wool into the size of a fingertip shape for the beak. You don't want it too thick. Gently poke the wool with your needle to felt it down. After that, just make another for the second beak. Now let's give our undead duck some bite. Those sharp, tiny teeth will give it the menacing look. Take a small amount of white wool and split it into 4 pieces. Roll each piece between your fingers to create a thin, pointed shape. Place 2 of the teeth on the upper beak, positioning them on the inside edge. Space them evenly, leaving room between for that classic gapped look. If the teeth feel too big or too small, you can always trim them a bit or add more wool to adjust the size. Small sharp teeth give the duck a more sinister feel. Next, take the other 2 teeth and repeat the process for the lower beak. Position them similarly to the upper teeth but slightly offset, so they don't line up perfectly with the top ones. Once the beak and teeth are ready, place it on the head and gently felt it in place. Make sure it's centered. Poke around the edges to secure it, and check the proportion with the body to make sure it fits. Now that we've got the head and body of our undead duck ready, it's time to attach them together. We'll do that by creating a brown simple cylinder to act as the neck. Followed by covering it with the mixed yellow wool to make it look uniform. Make sure it is sturdy enough to connect the head and body, but not too thick. When attaching the cylinder to the head, make sure that both ends of the cylinder is loosened. Then place the other end of it at the bottom of the head and start felting around the edges to attach it. Now position the other end of the cylinder onto the body. Just like with the head, gently felt around the edges, securing the neck to the body. Adjust as needed until it looks just right. To make the neck look seamless, add a bit of extra wool around the connection points and felt it down. This helps smooth out any rough edges and makes the neck look like a natural part of the duck. In creating the tiny wings, start with 2 small pieces of orange wool. Roll each piece into a flat wing shape. You don't want them to be too thick, just enough to create a subtle graphic wing design. Gently felt the wool into shape using your needle when attaching it to the side of the duck. It's okay if the wings have a little bit of a frayed, rough texture. After all, this is an undead duck. Again, just basically do the same thing to create and attach the other wing. For the last part is adding the bullet holes. Decide where you want the bullet holes to be.
Here.
Using your felting needle, gently poke into the wool where you want each bullet hole. Keep poking in the same spot. Applying a bit more pressure than usual to create a small, round indent. This will give the illusion of the hole. Feel free to vary the size and depth of the holes for a more chaotic, undead appearance. You can also add a red wool to make it look like blood. And there we have it, our very own Undead Duck from The Nightmare Before Christmas. I hope you had as much fun creating this little guy as I did. If you want to make your own Dead Duck, don't forget to check the description for the supplies that you need in creating this character, as well as some needle felting kits that we have. Thank you for watching. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you in the next video.